Power fans, please welcome everyone's favorite Ram, Rocky! Ladies and gentlemen, please rise or remain standing for the singing of the national anthem. As you listen to our national anthem this evening, please keep in your hearts and minds the proud men and women who put their lives on the line to protect us, our families, and our way of life, here at home and across the world. Performing the national anthem this evening is Michelle Nobleman. Michelle is the former director of Hanson House. Hanson House is a place for families to stay when a family member is in the hospital for trauma, ICU, or NICU. Cancer patients also stay there during treatment. Michelle is from Long Beach, where she was a long-term employee in tech for Xerox Corporation. She is this year's Palm Springs Rotary President. She has lived in Palm Springs for 5 years with her 2 dogs, Zori and Tika. Take it away, Michelle.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what's above every head at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, on the rocket's red flag, the bombs bursting in air, came through to the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let's do it.
All right, fans, here we have Nico and Addie to say those 3 favorite words.
Let's play ball! Let's play ball!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard yourselves. It's officially time to play ball here in Palm Springs Stadium. As the Palm Springs Power, riding a 14-game winning streak, are set to take on the SoCal Halos. And Marshall, fresh off of an impressive walk-off victory, improbable, dare even say, hard to predict, but that's what happened. 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning just this past Saturday for the win.
It was incredible. Again, their offense, the Power offense, held in check all game, and it didn't really even come alive per se. They just kept drawing walk after walk in the 9th, and then won it on a walk-off putout. What a game to keep the winning streak alive, and I have a feeling that's going to continue tonight with Joey Mazzetti on the mound.
I'm Evan Schmeiser, ladies and gentlemen, joined by Marshall Garvey. Marshall, it's been June 10th since the Palm Springs Power have lost a game here at Palm Springs Stadium. Trying to make it 15 in a row tonight. What do you think the keys are as far as the Power are concerned?
The keys, just get a deep outing from Mazzetti and score early and score often. You know, it was very fortunate that they were able to pull off that walk-off win against San Diego, but you're going to want to put runs on the board right away and take an early lead.
You heard it from the man himself, ladies and gentlemen. Joey Mazzetti will take the mound. So far this season, an even 2.0 ERA, 18 total innings. His last outing on July 2nd against the San Diego Waves. He went 7 innings, really impressive. Just 3 hits, 1 walk, 1 hit batter, 9 strikeouts, no runs. Absolutely impressive. Granted, it's been 10 days, but good to see the big arm and the big man on the mound tonight.
It sure is. He's kind of like the Joey Mazzetti of the desert. I should say Joey Mazzetti is the Shohei Ohtani of the desert is what I meant to say. He can pitch like an ace, He's an absolute all-star slugger. He's just top of the heap in all regards. We're going up against a SoCal Field Rats team that's last in their Sunset League, but it's worth noting they played earlier today against the East LA Dodgers and pulled off a 4-3 win, so they got some momentum going fresh today.
So busy day for the Field Rats, to say the least, Marshall. I was down there on the field just about 30 minutes ago talking to a few players. And I mean, look, they had a game at 11 in the morning. Some guys were out there, some guys were not, so some guys will be fresh tonight. I mean, how should the Power go into a game like this, especially against a team that's already had to play a tough game this morning, in their league nonetheless?
They're gonna want to go in even more on edge because it's so easy to be lulled into a false sense of security. A trap game can happen anytime.
So it'll be Keith Hale, Parker Haskell, Nolan Wason, the first three men to face Joey Mazzetti. So far, Hale is 8 for 14 on the season. A few games played, swings the first pitch and skies that one in the left field. Chase Hernandez back. Eventually settles on back there a few steps side of the track to put it away. Well, a quick out and a loud out to get things started here, Marshall.
Indeed. That was very well hit. Almost had me going for a second like it might leave.
So one quick out, it'll bring up Parker Haskell. Haskell, the right fielder today for the Field Rats. So far, 8 for 22 on the season, hitting an 364, OPS just over 800. High on base percentage at 440. As ball one is delivered right here. Josh Hernandez, Isaiah Alvarez, Levi Hall, the three outfielders. Efrain Manzo, Evan Berkey, Anthony Angel Jr., Spencer Dickinson around the horn, third base over the first. Tyler Swan, relative youngster, coming in called up from the PSCL behind the plate, and Joey Mazzetti, of course, on the mound. March, it's definitely cool seeing guys like Levi Hall, Tyler Swan getting to start today, especially guys who played in the PSCL all season and impressed the way they have.
It is. It's really special to see that.
2-1 the count, that ball hit out of play.
I'll rattle around the stands for a bit.
You know, busy night all the way around Marshall, and I came in, or busy day in general, and I came in this morning, saw a soccer team for Palm Springs High School out doing their thing, and for the past hour and a half, I see the football team out there doing their drills.
Yeah, no.
So, Field Rats are in 5th place, not last.
There's always the fun of coming out here to the complex, seeing so much activity going around. Well, I'm sure I am going to miss the sight of the PSCL games in the morning.
Here's a 2-2 from Mazzetti. That one's foul tipped at home plate.
Just got a piece of that.
Haskell, big lefty up there too. 6'2", listed at 220. He does look big from up here. Outfield playing pretty shallow. Hernandez playing very shallow out in left. Hall playing medium deep in right field. No extra base hits this season for Haskell. That's outside, 3-2 the count. One out here in the top of the first inning. Nolan Wason waits on deck. Ulysses Duran in the hole. Of course, both teams batting ninth tonight, as is customary. That ball skied out to center field. Alvarez, he's got beat on it. Barely has to move a muscle. He puts it away for the second out. That fly ball a little less well hit than the first one off the bat of Hale.
Yeah, indeed. Some more off-speed pitches. Zeddy working as high as 92 so far, but dialing it down with some off-speed stuff. That pitch 76 miles per hour.
Now bring on Nolan Wason. He's playing third base today for the Field Rats. 6 for 18 overall this season. 1 double, 4 RBIs to his credit. So he takes a little inside for ball one. He went 1 for 2 early this morning in the Field Rats 4-3 victory against the East LA Dodgers. That being a big win too, coming in their league game. Field Rats now up to 5th in the Sunset League. 1-1 the count.
Pardon my error on reading the standings earlier.
And the Orange County Pirates lead the way in the Sunset League at 11-5-1. Quakes baseball second at 11-7. And it's pretty crowded. A lot of teams. Field Rats improved to 8-8 with that win earlier this morning.
They're definitely riding hot.
Field also scored 111 runs this season, only allowed 88. They've had a few big wins. 1-2, and that's on the inside corner for a called strike 3. So 1-2-3, go the Field Rats. Joey Mazzetti, excellent first inning. He retires the side in order. So we'll go to the bottom of the first, ladies and gentlemen. Alvarez, Hernandez, Berkey, the first 3 men to come to the plate when we return. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're set to go for the bottom of the first inning. Power will take their first at bats. Joey Mazzetti worked a nice, efficient 1-2-3 top of the first inning. Isaiah Alvarez, Josh Jennings, Evan Berkey, first 3 men to come to the plate, and they'll be doing against Sean Hepler. Hepler getting the start on the mound for the Field Rats. So the first pitch, everyone playing straight up, and that's on the inside corner for strike 1. We're underway. Hepler with a 10.69 ERA this season. He's pitched in 6 different games, 26 hits in 16 innings. 10 walks. He's allowed 3 home runs this year. So see if Alvarez is behind 0-2. See what the Power can do in the first inning. Marshall, you also have to wonder what kind of pitching the Field Rats have available, especially playing a close first game.
That's a good point. I didn't stop to think that.
That ball's laced in the right center field. It's going to be down for a base hit. Alvarez, he's going to go for 2.
Oh!
He's going to get in there standing up. He's going for 3. And there's not going to be a throw. Alvarez slides in safely at third base. There was a mistake in the outfield from Parker Haskell. I assume that will go down as a double and then an error. But an excellent way to get things started nonetheless. An 0-2 pitch from Alvarez.
Picking up where he left off. It was his walk-off put-out effectively that ended the game against San Diego. That a much louder hit. Like you said, at least a double. Likely double and an error, and Isaiah Alvarez staying hot to continue this.
Oh, a loud way to get things started. That brings up Josh Hernandez, playing left field today for the Power. He's been a mainstay out there, batting .356, a couple doubles, 9 ribbies. The infield will play back for the Field Rats. They'll concede a run. Outfield playing a little deeper than we're used to seeing with Hernandez at the plate, especially Keith Hale in center playing very deep. Breeze is pretty mild. That pitch is laced. On one hop through the hole on the left side for a base hit. Hernandez kind of flicked his bat out there, but it does a job nonetheless. RBI single for Hernandez, his 10th of the year. The Power take a 1-0 lead.
We've barely even taken a breath, and already the Power staking themselves to that early lead.
So still with nobody out, a man on first. It brings up Evan Berkey. Batting .276, a double, 4 ribbies to his credit. Once he came over, he's one of the later guys to join the roster as the season's gone on. But he's been the mainstay over at shortstop and in the 3-hole. A curveball, that's a little high, ball one. It's like the first breaking ball that we saw. Good looking lead from Hernandez at first. That's low, 2-0 the count. That's been a quick run for the power. Alvarez fell behind 0-2 in the count. He got a pitch in the middle of the plate. He laced it in the right center, and Hernandez on a 1-0 pitch just served the ball on the left. Now 2-0 to Berkey. Field Rats will look to turn two. Hernandez draws a throw. Metcon leaning just a little bit. So far, Hernandez doesn't run a whole lot. 3 stolen bases this year. But a good-looking lead. And a long hold from Hepler. Another breaking ball in there, strike one. So 2-1 to count. Daniel Esqueda, Keith Hale, Parker Haskell, left center and right fielders for the Field Rats. Nolan Wason, TK Parker, Joey Peframesco, Ulysses Duran, the infielders. That ball's hit fairly well in the right field.
That could go.
Chases Haskell back, and it's going to be up against the wall. That gets down. Hernandez will toast into second base. Or excuse me, that's Berkey coasting into second. Hernandez all the way to third. Man, did that ball jump, Marshall?
Berkey was just a hair away from his first home run of the year.
Yeah, not much of a breeze to mention, so I boy did that ball jump.
Beautifully hit. And now,
So 3 hard hit balls from the power. It brings up the big man, Ephraim Manzo, batting cleanup tonight and playing third base. Boy, he's an imposing figure, to say the least, as he digs into that right-handed batter's box. Hitting 400, a double, a triple, only 2 RBIs this season. Only 15 official at-bats, though. Chance to try out into that total. Swings the first pitch, hits it foul out of play.
nice.
Once again, the Field Rats infield will play back.
As you mentioned earlier, I mentioned earlier, the keys for the power to build a big lead early on. That's even more imperative. Like you mentioned, you got to wonder how much pitching Field Rats are going to have.
So 0-1 the count. That's a little outside, 1-1. So far, the fastball from Hepler's been around 82, 83 miles per hour. I've seen a few breaking balls around 71, 73. Chance for Manzo stands 6 feet 2 inches. Looks bigger than that from up here. That's fouled straight back.
Looks a lot bigger than that. Could double his RBI total for the season. Also worth noting, coming into this game with just 2 strikeouts and 6 walks. This man knows how to put together a strong at-bat and get on base.
Oh, the power will definitely appreciate some contact. So that should score another. And now, looks like Midland Field's going to play halfway. Here's the 1-2. That's in the air. Shallow right field down the line. Haskell coming on. He'll drop foul into the bullpen.
Prior to that pitch, the whole outfield was playing very shallow as well.
So new life for Manzo. A ball, 2 strikes to count. Man, Hill's playing very deep in center. I mean, the way we saw the ball jump off the bat of Berkey, it makes sense for the outfielders to move back. The 1-2. Curveball, that's fisted. Shallow left field. That's going to get in there for a base hit. Berkey was running right away on the play. He's going to come around to throw home. He's going to be out by a mile at home plate. But a run scores nonetheless. RBI hit for Ephraim Manzo. That will be the first down in the inning. Hernandez scored easily. Berkey read that ball excellently off the bat, even with nobody out. He got the wave. But a good, strong throw from Wason, the third baseman, and that's out number 1. So 5-2 for those keeping score at home.
It was probably a bit of an overzealous move, but a run scoring nonetheless. And still just 1 out.
That brings up the big man, Spencer Dickinson. He hits that ball a mile high in the center field. Hale, he's got a beat on it, though, as he puts it away for the second out. Dickinson, the slugger in the PSCL, a couple home runs during this past season. Got the call up early on for the power. But ultimately, a quick second out.
Number 15, Anthony Angel Jr.
So that'll bring up Anthony Angel Jr. with 2 outs. Man over at first base. Power with a 2-0 early lead on 4 hits this inning. Angel Jr. hitting .258. Couple doubles, a triple, 10 ribbies. Manzo draws a throw.
He struck out 17 times coming into this game, but also walked 13 times. Currently on a hitless streak.
Berkey's 2 stolen bases so far. Not the quickest of feet, as Angel Jr. is the first pitch foul. Marshall, I gotta assume, especially trailing most of the game Saturday night, it's gotta feel good, especially for Mazzetti getting a 2-0 lead.
It has got to feel really, really good. Man, that was just the wildest of walk-off wins. An incredible rally.
Long send hole from Hepler. Good lead from Manzo, the 0-1. Fastball, that's popped up out of play. So 0-2 the count now to Angel Jr. Sean Hepler trying to work out this first inning after allowing 2 quick runs. Pretty solid crowd here tonight, Marshall. All the way along the bleachers, even several people down the lines and in the VIP area. Bounce house looks quiet though, as that pitch is taken low.
We've got pretty strong attendance all summer long. We really appreciate it. Really appreciate all of you who've come out to watch the games, and all those watching at home as well.
Some of the Field Rats parents got here pretty early, about 5:30. Gates don't open until 6 o'clock. Well traveled, a lot of going from Vegas. Angel Jr. checks his swing, they'll check down. No swing according to the field umpire. So 2-2 the count. That was one of the better breaking balls we've seen from Sean Hepler so far. That last one's 73 miles per hour. Here's the 2-2. That ball's ripped foul down the third base line. Pretty good swing there from Angel Jr. Just got it a little too far in on him. I think he needs a new piece of lumber, Marshall.
Yep, looks like he's walking back to get some.
Anthony doesn't look too happy about having to get a new bat. You know, I've broken 1 or 2 wooden bats in my days. I never really liked it. It's weird having to use somebody else's bat. You have to try and hope that the dimensions and the weight and the bounce are the way you like it. It's just an inconvenience. So we'll do 2-2. We'll do it once again. Power lead 2-0 with 2 outs. Fastball hits it hard in the left center field. Back goes Escada, and he's going to get there and put it away. Ball just hung up there pretty well for him. So that retires the side, but up for the Power. Put 2 big runs up on the board on 4 hits. And the big blow, Evan Berkey with the double all the way to the wall in right field to get the rally going. To the top of the second we go. Power, strike first. To the top of the second we go. Joey Mazzetti in the power, stick to a quick 2-0 lead. Ulysses Duran, TK Parker, AJ Santamaria. First three men due up for the Field Rats. 4, 5, 6. Mazzetti set down the first three hitters in order. The Field Rats will look to try and work on this 2-0 deficit that they face. Parker, another big-looking guy, standing at 6'1", 190. He takes ball one outside. Mazzetti back out for his second inning of work. Longest outing this season is 7 innings. Big swing and a miss, 1-1. Parker hitting .310 on the season. 9 for 29 overall. 1 double, 1 home run, 10 ribbies. Only 3 strikeouts. Low strikeout and low walk guy. Only 3 walks to his credit. But he's behind the count 1-2. Last fastball, 89 miles per hour from Mazzetti. Here's the 1-2, way outside, 2-2. Now, Marshall, the run differential is almost kind of deceiving with this Field Rats team. They've scored 111 times, only allowed 88 overall, yet they sit 8-8.
That was something.
A ball's up the middle. Gloved by Berkey. Plenty of time to throw his man out. He does just that. We're going to get a nice big hop towards the end. So 4 up, 4 down for Mazzetti. First ground ball of the game from the Field Rats.
The shortstop, number 13, TK Parker.
Now we'll bring up TK Parker. As you might have heard from George, our PA announcer. He's playing shortstop today. Also batting .310. So 1 out, nobody on. And a good curveball from Mazzetti, strike 1.
I'm really liking the way his breaking stuff is working today.
Parker went 1 for 2 today against the East LA Dodgers. That ball hit Parker. That fired up the Field Rats bench.
A lot of holler in there, and that's just the 4th hit batter of the year from Mazzetti.
Can't be fun to get hit by him.
Number 34,
not.
AJ Santamaria.
Did not want to take one of those high 80s, low 90s fastballs to my shoulder, that's for sure.
So now with 1 out, the Field Rats have a base runner. Their first of the game will break down AJ Santamaria. Santamaria, he's a designated hitter today. And even 438s, he takes outside 1-0. 4 doubles, 6 RBIs, only 1 strikeout to 5 walks.
He's got a physical build that reminds me of our own Spencer Dickinson. Almost looks like
big man up there.
almost like a mirror image out there.
Just from the left side. 1-1 the count. Power infield looked to turn 2 with 1 out. The last fastball at 90 from Mazzetti. So far he's topped out at 92. You ever faced 92, Marshall?
I have to admit, only baseball I ever played is old-time vintage baseball.
Curveball 1-2. What is that, Marshall?
1860s rules. We don't use gloves. The
Oh
pitches
my.
are thrown underhand. We wear old uniforms and are encouraged to have handlebar mustaches. So my experience as a ball player is, to say the least, a bit different than yours.
Marshall, I've only seen that on YouTube. The 1-2. Ball sitting on the ground. Mazzetti up with it. He looks to second, but I'll take the sure out at first. Ball just wasn't quite that hard. So Santamaria is retired. Parker goes up to second. And 2 away brings up Joey DeFrancisco. Marshall, where do you find a league like that in Northern or Central California?
There's a budding scene in Central California. There's ones in the Bay Area, a lot of teams in my neck of the woods in Sacramento. It's actually a growing scene across the country. Not sure how it's doing down here in SoCal, but to anyone who's interested, I do recommend vintage baseball. It's a great hobby.
Those are cool. And the pitchers have to underhand the ball, if I'm not mistaken.
You do, yeah, you have to underhand the ball.
And you get to pick your strike zone if you're the hitter. I feel like that used to be a thing.
The
Like you pick a high strike zone or a low strike zone.
You don't get to pick your strike zone, at least the way I played it, but the umpire can have a lot of discretion. They can wait until they want to start calling balls and strikes, for example.
Oh, interesting. So, want to know the count now on DeFrancisco. All this time in Marshall, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't know this. It's on the inside corner, 1-1. Pitcher's pitch right there. DeFrancisco hitting .323 this season, on base percentage just shy of 500. 4 RBIs, a couple doubles this season, 7 for 31 overall. So back to the man in scoring position. That ball spiked in the dirt. Throw behind the runner. It's off the glove of Angel Jr. Goes in the shallow left. He's going to come to the plate. The throw home. And
I got him!
The call at the plate.
What a rebound!
TK Parker got caught with a throw behind him at second. He made up to third. Tried to be aggressive. He's out on a strong throw from Evan Berkey. Good tag from Tyler Swan. So that retires the side. No runs, no hits, nobody left. After initial misplay by the catcher Swan, great recovery from Berkey to retire the side.
Wow. What?
To the bottom of the second we go. All the momentum with the Power, especially after the nice recovery and great play from Berkey then the last inning. Let's see if I got this right, Marshall. So that put out the plate would go 2-4-6-2.
I think you were right.
Yeah, because that ball hit off of Angel Jr. and kicked away, and it was Berkey who picked it up.
I believe you are right on all of that.
All right, good deal. I still got it. Levi Hall swings at a breaking ball and comes up empty, strike one. Levi Hall, he's had an impressive year. Played this entire season with the PSCL. He hit .424 in that league, that being our morning league, where we divide up 13 different players and get several hundreds to come out here, owing to the Council Hall. And afterwards, he, along with a handful of other guys, called up to the Power, staying out here in Palm Springs to play baseball for one more week. So Levi Hall, this will be his third game with the Power. He's oh, nice play by the pitcher, Hepler right there. Well, 1 for 3, now Hall will be 0 for 4 on a hard hit out right there. Might be one of those balls, Marshall. Hepler may have caught it, but the ball might have caught him just as much.
I think it did, yeah. Hall's still looking for that first hit in a Power uniform, but he'll have to wait a bit for another shot.
Well, he might have 2, 3, or 4 more chances. So I'll bring up the designated hitter, Tyler Richardson. Richardson hitting in the spot of Joey Mazzetti. Weird and rare to not see his big bat in the lineup, being the RBIs leader. Richardson hitting .255 on the season. Used to seeing him behind the plate a lot. 4 doubles, 6 RBIs. So he bats with 1 out and nobody on base. That ball's hit hard in the center field for a base hit. Richardson got good one on that one. 5th hit of the game so far for the Power and a 1-out base runner.
Big hits get the offense going.
Catcher number 48, Tyler Swan.
As you can hear from George right next door probably, Tyler Swan, the 9th man in the order, due up. So far, Swan, another one of those call-ups from the PSCL immediately after the season ended on Friday. He bats with 1 out and man over at first. So he takes a breaking ball, strike 1. Seeing a lot of breaking balls lately from Hepler. Only the 2nd game so far for Swan with the Power. Now he's 0 for 1. He's drawn 4 walks. He drew 4 walks this past Saturday. There were a lot of walks that game, Marshall.
That was, again, that comeback in the 9th was all walks to tie it, and then basically a put out at the end, a fielder's choice you could call it, for the walk-off.
I won't lie, Marshall. I was kind of puzzled a bit looking at the line. It says 1 at bat, 5 plate appearances, then I saw eventually 4 walks. I've had literally one stretch in my baseball career, and this wasn't even in college. I'm playing 14-year-old Babe Ruth travel tournaments. I went to a tournament in central New Jersey, and the first 3 games I went 1 for 2 with 7 walks and a sacrifice fly.
What are the odds of that?
Those were a weird few games, Marshall. But it was like a lot of base running, but like the rest of the guys were hitting the ball like crazy. I felt like, okay, well, I haven't really put good wood on anything, but I'm on base a lot. I would make analytics guys happy. They love walks. 0-2 the count now to Swan. That ball's hit hard. Another line drive caught by Hepler. Are you kidding me? An easy double play over the first. That line drive hit a little bit higher. Hepler snow-coned it. And nothing Richardson could have done. An easy double play right there. So that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left off the line drive double play. Marshall, we saw a little bit more strangeness as we go to the top of the 3rd. Power still with a 2-0 lead. All right, we're set for the top of the 3rd inning. Somewhat of a brisk pace to the early going of this ball game. Joey DeFrancisco, Daniel Esqueda, and Zachary Tizzle, 7, 8, 9, the scheduled batters. DeFrancisco was at the plate when Parker was thrown out at the plate to end the 2nd inning, so he'll bat now with a fresh count. Now, Marshall, I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher catch 2 line drives in the same inning. Not in the big leagues, not Little League, not Babe Ruth, not even on humpback line drives. So that first pitch on the ground to Berkey comes up with a big hop and 1 quick out.
I don't think I've seen it either. And for him to account for or initiate all outs, as the 2nd line drive, he snow-coned it and then easily turned it to first for a double play. Quite an athletic inning there.
That brings up Daniel Esqueda, the left fielder. Batting in the 8th spot, he's hitting .238 this year. 3 doubles, 2 RBIs. It's a fastball inside, 1-0. Esqueda went 1 for 4 early this morning against the Dodgers. So he bats with 1 out and nobody on base. So far, Mazzetti has faced the minimum. That ball sprayed foul right side. The only base runner coming on the Parker hit by pitch, but he was thrown out at the plate. So that erased him.
Mazzetti working smoothly so far. Hard to believe this is just his second start of the year.
Is that fastball on the outside corner, strike 2? Looks like a pitcher's zone tonight, Marshall.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Tell me more about this. What do you call that league again, Marshall? Old Timers League? Or, no, not exactly
vintage,
old-timers.
or it's called vintage baseball. Baseball being spelled as 2 words.
So that curveball's on the inside corner for a called strike 3. Second strikeout of the night from Mazzetti, 2 outs. Please continue, Marshall.
Yeah, so it's called vintage baseball. Again, baseball spelled as 2 words. It can be played by different rules from different years, but generally in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Yeah, you wear old uniforms. You don't use gloves. You use really primitive balls and bases.
Hey, what are the balls like?
They're a little lighter.
They're kind of like the dead balls, I guess, back when Babe Ruth came around and before that?
Yes, they tend to be modeled like that.
Okay, so they do it on purpose.
Exactly.
Zachary Tizzle, the batter. So far, 1 for 11 on the season, the one hit being a double. 0-2 the count. So, okay, how many guys are allowed to bat? Do they still bat 9, or you can bat anybody?
You can bat 9. If you're shorthanded, you can go with a shorter lineup.
They do allow that.
The best way I can describe it is just be ready to learn just about everything you know about modern baseball.
Well, 1, 2, 3. Zachary Tizzle goes down 3 pitches. Second strikeout of the inning from Mazzetti. Third of the game. And once again, Mazzetti faces the minimum so far. Another 1, 2, 3 inning. To the bottom of the third we go. The Power will go back to work with their 2-0 lead.
JC.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back for the bottom of the third inning. The top of the order we go for the Power. Alvarez, Hernandez, Berkey, the scheduled hitters. Say Alvarez got things started in a loud way, releasing a double into the right center field gap and going to third on a mistake in the outfield, and eventually came around to score the first of 2 runs.
That was an incredible way to start the game.
Check swing, he went around. Hepler back out for his third inning of work. Nobody up in either bullpen. Wouldn't expect to see anybody from Mazzetti. Or Mazzetti's been very impressive. Just not a lot of good swings. 0-2 the count. I mean, the field rats have put the ball in play. Only 3 strikeouts so far. Kind of a pedestrian number compared to what we've seen over the course of the season, Marshall. But the field rats team, they've put up plenty of runs this season.
It is true. We've been spoiled. Our cup runneth over with this Power offense.
A ball, 2 strikes, the count to Alvarez. Here's the 1-2. Chopped foul at home plate. Breeze has been going left to right for most of the game so far. Flag's picking up a little bit. One of us start to feel a little bit of the misters in the booth, Marshall.
A little trickles here and there, but not too much.
turning into a gorgeous evening. Just a few clouds up in the sky. You can perfect view of the canyon out there. The 1-2. That's chopped in the on-deck circle. That's a nice play by Berkey right there. He does it all. He mans his position well at shortstop, and he plays the field even when he's in the hole. See that play, Marshall? One with his glove hand.
I missed it.
It's called instincts. Soft hands. Soft hands are key for middle infielder. A ball's out to right field. Pascal, this time he's got a beat on it. A little bit of an easier play. He puts it away, 1 out. So Alvarez now 1 for 2 to bring up Josh Hernandez. RBI single, his first time up, poking that ball through the hole on the left side. Also came around to score. So he's responsible for both runs today. He bats now with 1 out and nobody on.
I'm really starting to settle in with that off-speed stuff. Breaking ball, generally staying around the low 70s.
Hernandez taking all the way, he takes low. Josh Hernandez, he often likes to take strike 1. You a fan of doing that, Marshall?
I am.
Back in your vintage baseball days?
Oh yeah, no, you get to take a lot in vintage baseball.
Ball's on the ground at first base, off the glove of Duran. He tossed Epler covering, and Hernandez retired. Good job recovering from Duran. Nice job from Hepler to recover the bag. So PFP, 3-1 for the second out. 2 quick outs now, brings up Berkey. Berkey doubled all the way to the wall in right field.
Now batting.
Left
The
over,
shortstop,
Spencer
number
got thrown
24,
out, the
Evan
plate in the first.
Berkey.
I still can't believe how well that ball traveled, Marshall.
No,
The dimensions are huge out here, and it doesn't travel anywhere near as well at night compared to the day.
And
Berkey shows bunt and he pulls back.
And again, not like you said, not too much of a breeze at that time. So I was certain it was going to leave. It really is one of the stranger curiosities that the Power, for all of their offensive prowess, no home runs this season.
We've seen plenty of extra base hits too, and balls hit well. 1-1 the count to Berkey.
We've seen them win often, win just about every way.
Saw him win with a lot of walks on Saturday night.
We've seen some crazy comebacks, sure-handed blowouts, but no home runs. Maybe that'll change tonight.
Esqueda playing pretty shallow in left field. The righty Berkey, that's a little inside 2-1. Last fastball at 84 miles per hour. 81, 84, that's mostly what Hepler's been sitting at. That's up and in, 3-1. Yeah, Marshall, I'm feeling the mist. It's a good time.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel it a bit more myself.
Are you allowed to slide in vintage baseball?
Oh yeah, of course you can slide.
Oh, okay. Now, are you allowed to, like, slide in hard and break up double plays? Berkey takes strike 2.
I don't recall there being an instance where that was deliberated. One thing you can't do is you can't overrun first base on a hit. You have to stay on first, even if you're running out an infield hit. That's pretty hard.
Here's the 3-2 to Berkey. That one's chopped foul. Oh, Dickinson. He tried to make the play with his right hand, but he got taken into the screen. He also had to worry about some bats. Kind of posted up along the fence. Good effort, though. Good effort from the big first baseman. Manzo on deck, Dickinson in the hole. Here's the 3-2. That one's hit softly up the third base line. Wasting up with it on the backhand. Throw over. It's not in time. The ball gets away. Berkey didn't see it right away. Good backup from the catcher, Tittle. So Berkey reaches what should go down as an infield hit. 6th hit of the night for the Power. Looks like it does. And a 2-out base runner. So Berkey has shot his first time up and a little dribbler for his second hit.
31, Efren Manzo.
Any way you can get on. Curious to see if Berkey runs. He's 2 for 2 in stolen base attempts so far.
He's somebody that's always just looked to me being solid on the bases. Like, he knows what he's doing, but not a speed demon.
Exactly.
And you don't have to be a speed demon to run the bases well. You have at times to be a good base stealer. My man Mike Schmidt. He was steal over 30 bags certain years.
Oh, yeah.
Big Phillies fan.
Well, Michael Jack Schmidt could do it all.
Apparently he played like one of the deepest third bases you'll ever see, because that's how confident he was in his arm.
Also think of some catchers around that time, like Carlton Fisk, like not exactly a fast guy, but he can steal a lot of bases. Let's see if Berkey, probably not primed to go here.
Very short lead. That ball's chopped to third base line again from Manzo, and that's going to go foul. Would have been another hit. That one hit a little slower with a little more run from Manzo. That would have been something, Marshall. 2 straight infield hits on dribblers to third base. Wayson's playing one of the deeper third bases I've seen throughout the season. From power, PSCL, anybody.
Likewise, yeah. Very accustomed to the shortstop and second baseman peeking out onto the infield grass, but that is the deepest I've seen at third as well.
It's also really hugging the line. So 1-1 the count to Manzo. He had an RBI bloop single his first time up over the third baseman Wayson's head. A little bit of a bigger lead from Berkey this time. Long hold from Hepler. Berkey started and stopped. The ball is hit hard, but foul. Up the third base line into the bullpen. Oh, there goes Keat to go get it. Hardest working man in the stadium, our clubhouse guy. Up in here till 2, 3 in the morning. I do not envy what he does, but we need men like him. We need men like him, Marshall.
We salute you. It's crucial work to keep this classic, this historic stadium functioning.
Pretty good speed right there, too, going to get that foul ball. He had to cover a little bit of ground. So that's fouled straight back. Good battle from Manzo. Still a ball, 2 strikes.
Solid contact all around from the power today.
I wish we could have gotten the exit velocity, Marsh, on that dribbler from Berkey.
I do too.
So 1-2 once again. The outfield playing relatively deep. 2 outs and Berkey on first. There goes Berkey. That pitch it high in the air, shallow right field. Long run from Haskell. DeFrancisco out too, and it's Haskell who makes the call and the catch. Ball hung up there. Pretty good while for him to settle under it. So we're through 3. Power lead 2-0. They leave 1 man on 1 hit. Settling into a little bit of a pitcher's duel as we go to the 4th. All right, we're set for the top of the 4th inning, Marshall. Field Rats will send the top of the lineup up to the plate. Keith Hale, Parker Haskell, Nolan Wason. Mazzetti's faced the minimum. So far, he's allowed just a hit batter. And the Field Rats still looking for their first hit here in the 4th. They haven't had a whole lot of good contact. 3 strikeouts so far from Mazzetti. Keith Hale flew out to left his first time up on a pretty well hit ball. It's probably the best hit ball so far from the Field Rats. So he takes high 1-0. Mazzetti's been efficient so far. Just
Really?
seems like this game's been going quickly.
It has been going fast.
I mean, Marshall, we're through 3 innings so far. And we started the webcast a little bit right before the national anthem, so that's an extra several minutes. We're only at 56 minutes, at least according to the webcast.
Going by quickly.
2-0 the count now to Hale. And that's hit foul out of play, 2-1. Marshall, is there anything else I should know about this vintage league?
What else?
Do you wear stirrups?
You're not required to wear stirrups.
Are you serious?
You generally want to wear like full pants over ankles.
Why? Is that considered old-timer stuff?
Pretty much.
Oh. That's in the air to right field. Levi Hall comes sprinting in. He got a late start, but he recovers and puts it away.
Great running grab there. Really?
Several fly ball outs and 1 quick out in the 4th inning. It brings up Parker Haskell. He flew out to center his first time up.
It does seem like Mazzetti's relying a lot more on his off-speed stuff and his breaking ball as the game goes on. 74 miles per hour on that.
I think we've only seen 1 fastball clocking at 92 from Mazzetti so far. That first pitch is a little outside, 1-0.
You don't think of them as like a...
Mike Marshall, like the 1860s are still before stirrups were a thing?
Yes.
Really?
But again, there are different years you can play by different rules.
But so everyone has to agree. Like it's you can't have some people acting like it's the 1860s, but others acting like it's the 1880s.
Yeah, there's like 1864, 1869, like there's specific years for specific leagues.
That does sound very specific.
It is. Like I said earlier, you basically have to unlearn baseball as you know it, but once you get used to it, it's a lot of fun.
So is the goal hit ball on the ground, or do you want the launch angle?
You want to just make good contact, put it on the ground.
Big hop there for Anthony Angel Jr. Looks like a little bit of grass, even knocked down that 1-hop liner. He puts it away, 2 quick outs. Mazzetti just sailing along.
He is. Now he's going back to the heaters there. All right, so that one's just 77.
Brings up Nolan Wason. He struck out his first time up.
Number 21, Nolan Wasson.
So let's see, no stirrups. They don't want to, I guess, depending on the game, you don't want confusion having most of the crowd acting like it's 1864, but then having to talk some smack to the young whippersnappers who are bringing 1869 into the field of play.
Exactly.
Yeah, my high school days, stirrups became very popular in our locker room and on the field.
No, I love stirrups. When I think of old school, in my sense, in the 20th century, I love stirrups. So yeah, when you're playing by 19th century, stirrups.
Looks like Ulysses Duran in the on-deck circle. Looks like he has stirrups on.
He does. He does.
I'm a fan. Now, granted, for all we know from up here, those just be socks that were designed that way. And Marshall, that'd be very confusing. That better not be the case. Low 3-1. So far, the only base runner for the Field Rats came on a hit-by pitch from T.K. Parker in the 2nd. Was interesting. See Nathan Beckley warming up in the power bullpen.
Huh.
And no swing, says the first base umpire, so a 5-pitch walk to Wason. The 2-out base runner for the Field Rats.
That'll be the first walk of the day for Mazzetti and just the second base runner overall.
So I'll bring up our stirrup guy in the stadium, Ulysses Duran. Grounded out to short his first time up.
Worth noting, Field Rat's going to want to take advantage of that. That's just the 5th walk issued by Mazzetti all year long.
Let's take on the outside corner, 0-1. Good job for Mazzetti getting ahead in the count. That's a little outside, 1-1 the count. Wason has not attempted a stolen base this year. Pretty good lead though in first. Mazzetti relatively quick to the plate, going with a slide step. That's a little outside again, 2-1. Levi Hall playing relatively deep and a little over towards the line and right. Everyone else straight up. Good amount of room in right center. Looks like things are getting busy over by the bounce castle there, Marshall.
Starting to hear that familiar noise.
That one hit clanked right off the glove of Swan, and up to second goes Wason. Although I have to go down as a pass ball. Doesn't look like he got crossed up either. The count stands at 2-2. They got the strike call nonetheless.
Oh, wow.
I don't think he had it, and then it just clanked over to his right. So 2-2 the count now. 2 outs. Wason over on second. An opportunity now for the Field Rats. They can record a hit. They could get a run. Curveball outside 3-2. He said he got spun around after delivering that pitch.
Field Rats. Chance to really get something going here.
The 3-2. That ball's on the ground. Berkey up with it, backs up a bit, throws off balance, and
He's safe!
safe is the call at first. They're going to say Dickinson came off the bag.
He did. Had to scoop up that throw, looked like it landed just a bit in front of him.
Now Casey Dill's going to come out and put up some kind of an argument. Wonder if he'll ask for help from the home plate umpire. You know, Marshall, I thought Berkey had more time than he might have shown the way he threw that ball over there. I think he had time to set his feet.
I agree. I do think he rushed that throw.
So a pretty quick conversation. The call will stand. I assume it'll have to go down as an error. It'll go down on Berkey since, yeah, because coming off the bag, it automatically goes down as a throwing error. So E6 for those keeping score at home. Puts men on first and third with 2 outs. Brings up TK Parker. Got hit by a pitch. His only time up in the second. Now a chance with men on first and third. Still no hits for the Field Rats. A couple errors already for the Power. Curveball at the knee, strike 1. Good start from Mazzetti.
That curveball been working brilliantly all day from Mazzetti. Clocking in at 77.
Power lead 2-0 here in the top of the 4th. Mazzetti trying to work out a jam. 0-2 the count. Big swing and a miss there from Parker. Way late. Breeze has picked up a little bit more. Still left to right.
Now I'm feeling more of that mist. That feels good.
Mazzetti comes set shortly to first from Duran. He steps off. I see Fish down there. He found that American flag cowboy hat. I'm not sure, that made out of plastic, but he sports it pretty well down in the marketing pit. Here's the 0-2. Fastball, a little high. 1-2. That one came in at 90. It's a tough take right there. Fastball up in the zone at 90, Marshall. From the big man Mazzetti.
Throwing it. He's dialing it back up. He's been hitting 92 a lot today.
He's all ready. Here's the 1-2. Curveball. Good play by Swan to keep it in front. It's a heck of an effort. Yeah, Fish does sport that pretty well. He is from Wisconsin. The old Midwest. Here's the 2-2. Another curveball blocked again by Swan. No runners advance, but it's 3-2. So Duran will be off and running from first. Santa Maria waits on deck. You do have a base open, even though it is second base.
Strong takes by the Field Rats on the breaking ball this inning.
Here's the 3-2. That's inside ball 4. The bases are now loaded with 2 outs. Bit of a danger zone now from the Power. Even some of the fans of the Field Rats are getting into it now. They were quiet most of the night. That'll bring AJ Santamaria to the plate. Bounced out back to the mound. His first at bat. Wason on third. Duran on second. Parker on first. Power lead 2-0. Both runs came in the first. First pitch swinging, hit foul. Big swing there from Santamaria.
Come on, AJ, let's go now.
A hit could tie it. Power outfielders playing medium deep. Hernandez playing the most shallow and left, with the lefty Santamaria up. Mazzetti working out the stretch. The big leg kick, that's in the dirt, 1-1.
And they're taking the curve a lot more this inning.
So 2 walks and an error is what's led to the rally so far for the Field Rats. 1-1, curveball hit foul. That's Santamaria out in front. Marshall, do you go back to the curve or do you try a heater?
I think I'm going to go with a heater. The Field Rats, they're starting to adjust. And like I said, they're known to take more. So I got to go back to that low 90s fastball. Let's say go up and away.
Zay taking a little more time. Now he comes set. Here's the 1-2. The ball's on the ground towards the middle. Angel Jr. up. No, he doesn't get it. It's off his glove. It'll be an error. Everybody's safe and the run scores. Wow, second error of the inning, third of the game. It leads to the first run for the Field Rats. The Power now only have a 1-run lead. It's 2-1.
That was just a routine ground ball.
Come on, Joe!
And he had time to get Santamaria going to first. He doesn't run well.
It seemed like in the moment like he was kind of looked like he was spinning over to his right. Just could not come up with it.
He had the range of it to get it, but nonetheless, it's 2-1 now Power. That'll bring up Joey DeFrancisco. Ground out to short is only at bat. And that one's bounced. High chopper over the shortstop. Gloved by Burke. He goes across the diamond. That ball's off the bat. That ball gets away. It goes toward the Field Rats dugout. 2-run score on the play. Oh my goodness. Wow. DeFrancisco was busting it up the line. It made it a tougher play for Berkey. The throw was nowhere close to Dickinson. Not sure if it goes down as a dead ball or not, but 2-run score either way. Duran and Parker cross the plate, and now the Field Rats take a 3-2 lead. And that'll go down as an error. So 4th error of the game for the Power here in the third of the inning. 2 errors from Berkey this inning, 1 from Angel Jr., leads to 3 unearned runs. And taking low is Daniel Esqueda, who struck out his only at bat. Esqueda, the 8th man to bat this inning. Started off very routine. Hale flew out to right. Haskell ground out to second. Walk, error on Berkey. Walk, error on Angel Jr. and the last error on Berkey. That's the inning in the offense right now, Marshall.
What a strange inning. You take that lead any way you can get it. Still no hits from the Field Rats.
1-1 the count. So that curveball's down and in 2-1. I mean, Marshall, if you're Mazzetti in the Power, you got to try and get out of this inning here. You only trail by 1 run. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but damage has been done.
And again, the Power are used to making comebacks.
2-2 the count. Swing and miss there.
Heater there, 92 miles per hour from Mazzetti. But just what a strange inning with all these errors. 3 in 1 inning, 4 overall for the Power.
The 2-2, that curveball's down and away, 3-2. So the runners will be off. Santamaria over at second, DeFrancisco at first. Here's the 3-2 to Escueda. The runners go, and that's low ball 4. The bases are loaded once again. Mazzetti throwing his hands up, wondering where that pitch was. I guess it was low. So the third walk he's issued this inning, along with the 3 errors behind him.
Casey Dill going to come out for a chat with Mazzetti.
I mean, Beckley is still warming up in the bullpen. We've seen a lot of him. No signal to the bullpen. The entire infield has come in, except for Berkey and Dickinson. Zachary Tittle, the scheduled hitter, he struck out his first time up. He's the 9th man to come to the plate this inning, so the Field Rats have batted around. I have not seen an inning like this at any level in a long time, Marshall.
And they would not expect it to come against a guy like Joey Mazzetti, and yet here we are.
Now, granted, the toughest play of the 3 was probably the most recent error to Burke, just with the way DeFrancisco was busting it up the line.
And that definitely threw him off.
Everything else has been routine this inning. None of the balls have been hit particularly hard. Either way, tough spot for the Power as Mazzetti gets the strike call 0-1. Santa Maria on third, DeFrancisco on second, Esqueda on first, and Tittle the batter. Keith Hale, the leadoff man, waits on deck. So the Power can get a force to any base. Here's the 0-1. Outside 1-1. Just not the same command or effectiveness from that breaking ball this inning either. He's not getting the swings and misses, Marshall.
He's not. A lot of great takes by the Field Rats. Mazzetti's velocity's still strong. Yeah, he's just not getting them to bite.
1-1, swing and a miss, 1-2.
He sure did there.
Went with a fastball. The Power will have to at least deal with a 1-run deficit. Not the end of the world by any means, but a strange, possibly demoralizing inning, especially for the infield. The 1-2 from Mazzetti. That ball's fouled straight back. That fastball at 92. I mean, you got to give credit to some of these Field Rats hitters. They're working some deep counts. They're not going down easily.
They're not. They've adjusted well.
Mazzetti set once again with the 1-2. And he deals a curveball that just fouled the plate off the glove of Swan.
On that pitch. I can go back to the fastball. I have a feel.
Here's the 1-2. It's a curveball, and he gets his man swinging. Tittle goes down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight. But the damage has been done. 3 walks and 3 errors on the infield played 3 runs for the Field Rats as they take a 3-2 lead. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Dickinson, Angel Jr., and Levi Hall will try and get things squared away for the Power when we return. To the bottom of the fourth we go, and Marshall, the Power are out hitting the Field Rats 6-0, yet they trail 3-2. What gives, man?
What a surreal inning that was. Just some really great takes, long at-bats, and some pressure-packed base running. Forced 3 errors.
Marshall, that was some rough baseball.
That was just surreal.
That's one way to put it. So Dickinson, the batter, he flew out to center his only at-bat. Big slugger in the PSCL, trying to get things started now, and he hits that one foul at home plate.
But again, we've seen the Power have had some absolutely dynamic comebacks this season. So being down just one, even after a rough inning like that, cannot count them out.
Sean Hepler back out for his 4th inning of work, and give him credit, he's settled down since the first. Only scattered a couple hits in the past 2 innings. That ball's popped up. Looks like Duran settles under it at first. He puts it away for a quick 1 out. Big swing from Dickinson, but a pop out to first.
It has to be noted, all 3 of those runs scored against Mazzetti were unearned.
Number 15, Anthony Angel Jr.
That'll bring up Anthony Angel Jr. He flew out to left his only at bat, and a ball fairly hard hit.
Hapler's just been so efficient, just getting a lot of really weak pop outs. Of course, he fielded a couple of quick outs himself.
Angel Jr. takes strike 1. Now, Marshall, I wonder if this kind of dusk sky will have any kind of effect on the players. Because I didn't see that ball super well when it was going up in the air. Like, I saw it, but not great. 0-2 the count. Ball scooted right through the chairs of the Power coaching staff. None of them flinched. Oh, there goes Keat again. Good hustle. So quickly 0-2 to Angel Jr. That one foul at home plate. Looks like it was off his foot. They don't plan to make the call right away. Hepler, give him credit. He jumped off the mound trying to get that one fair. See if he can get an easy out.
Just a lot of quick outs.
We'll do it again, the 0-2. That ball's hit pretty well again. This one out to center field. Hale is over, and he puts it away. Hung up there. Enough for him, and 2 up, 2 down here in the 4th. A lot of balls in the air from the Power.
But not really that hard hit. They're all just gentle pop outs and fly outs. Now Levi Hall.
So far, 9 out of the... Hold on, math. 9 of the outs so far have been in the air. So wait, 3 times 3, 9. Yeah, 9 of the 11 outs. Hall hits that one hard. Sliding stop from Parker, and not in time over the first. Man, heck of an effort, though. But an infield hit for Levi Hall.
His first hit in a Power uniform. And it seems like that's perfect timing for that. Hopefully get something going for the Power here.
Man, how about that effort, though, from the shortstop TK Parker?
That was a great
I thought
play.
he had no chance to get that. He just popped up pretty quickly.
Still made a decent play out of it.
Number 8, the designated hitter, Tyler Richardson.
That brings up Tyler Richardson. Richardson hit a ball hard back in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 1. Eventually forced down the line drive double play back to Hepler. Short lead from Levi Hall. Not much of a base stealer, and Richardson comes up empty on the first pitch. So 0-1 the count. 2 outs, a man on first. Power trail 3-2 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Another curveball. That one's blooped out to left field. Esqueda coming out is going to drop in front for a hit. Man, that ball maybe went 30 feet at most past the infield dirt, but Richardson will take it. He's 2 for 2 with that Texas leaguer.
Yeah, that one just seemed to float for a long time. Coming off of just a 68-mile-per-hour breaking ball by Hepler.
So an opportunity now for the Power. Tyler Slom will come to the plate. He lined out back to the box into that double play. Another one of those call-ups from the PSCL League, looking for his first hit in a Power uniform. This could be a pretty good time for one to try and tie the game.
It would definitely be galvanic for the Power if you could get a lot out at the bottom of your lineup. That could be the way you start your rally.
Sean Hepler steps off and he calls out Tittle. We're going to talk about a few things.
I mean,
Wonder if they're on the same page as far as what pitches to throw.
I'm not surprised to see this. The exit velocity on that Texas Leaguer by Richardson, just 59 miles per hour.
That's actually harder than I thought it would be. Breeze has definitely picked up.
So going to be the kind of hits you're going to want to settle for.
So now it's Hepler's turn to try and work out of the jam. Mazzetti got the first 2 men out in the previous frame pretty easily, then eventually 3 runs scored. Swan takes strike 1. Man, Haskell playing really deep in right field, even with the righty Swan up. The way the wind's knocking the balls down, Esqueda playing relatively shallow and left. Fouled at the plate 0-2. That ball hit off of somebody. I'm not sure if that was the catcher Tittle or the home plate ump. 0-2 nonetheless. Power fans looking to get back into this ball game as they ended up being stunned seeing their team allow 3 in the top of the 4th. The 0-2 in the dirt, gets away. Both runners advance to throw the 3rd. Ooh, safe is the call at 3rd. Wow.
Some vocal
I heard all sorts of fans for the Field Rats. Certain they had the out there. It was a heck of a play from Tittle. The ball took a hop, a favorable hop for him. He barehanded it, and he almost got hauled out at third base. Give him credit.
It did look, it was so close. I did think he was out for a split second.
And now Dylan Hoffman, the manager for the Field Rats, out in conversation with the field umpire. Either way, it's a tough call for him to make. It's just a bad angle trying to make a tag play at third base. Now both umpires will talk about it. Wonder if the home plate umpire saw anything different from 90 feet away.
Want a break from the ads? If you tap now to watch a short video, you'll receive 30 minutes of
Relatively long talk. Now I wonder if they reverse this call, what we'll see from Casey Dill and the power. And they're going to stick with the call in the field safe. Field Rats dugout can't believe it. Neither can their fans. But it's a wild pitch nonetheless. A break for the power. It's still 1-2 the count to Swan, but 2nd and 3rd now with 2 outs. A hit could give the power the lead. Especially Richardson, not bad speed out at second base, maybe slightly above average. He runs well for a catcher, as they might say. Wonder if catchers would take offense to that. That ball's hit hard in the center field, but it's right at Keith Hale. He puts it away to retire the side. Swan gave it a ride, but ultimately the Power leave 2 men in scoring position after recording back-to-back hits with 2 outs. So we go to the top of the 5th inning. The Field Rats still maintain a 3-2 lead. We're set for the top of the 5th inning, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be the top of the order for the Field Rats, Hale, Haskell, and Nolan Waston, and they'll be facing a new pitcher, Miles Rothfarb, first man out of the bullpen for the Power. He's on in relief for Mazzetti. He went the first 4. He allowed 3 runs, none of them earned, no hits, 3 walks, and a hit batter. It's a tough night for Mazzetti. He pitched pretty well for the most part. He didn't have completely his best stuff, but he battled, and he pitched more than well enough to be in position to win this game.
Perhaps even go the distance or close, but just a strange inning.
Whoa!
Look out!
Chin music on the first pitch. Miles Rothfarb, who usually has, well, he's gone 5 2/3 innings, 1.59 ERA, walks, something to keep an eye on, 7 walks this year, 2 hit batters. So a decent amount of men to put on base and only 5 2/3. 2-0 the count. 8 strikeouts to go along with all that. Thank goodness, Rothfarb has given up a ton of unearned runs. He's allowed 8 runs overall this season, only 1 of them earned. So 3-0 the count to his first man, Keith Hale. He's 0 for 2 with a couple flyouts.
That definitely tells you how much walks will haunt for him. It's going to be imperative for him to keep runners off base here.
Still a pretty respectable crowd tonight. See a lot of the common mainstays as far as the Power fans go. Field Rats fans have definitely been into it.
They've probably been the most vocal opposing families they've seen, and already there's a walk.
4-pitch walk to Keith Hale. So a leadoff base runner. That brings up Parker Haskell. He's 0 for 2. Blew out in the first, grounded out in the 4th.
And those 3 runs allowed by Mazzetti, all unearned, that matches the season high. He hasn't allowed more than 3 runs in any effort all year.
0-1 the count. Check on the runner.
Nasty 87-mile-per-hour pitch there from Rothfarb. And another, still got activity going in that Power bullpen. So looks like we'll have a short leash for Rothfarb.
Long set and hold. The 0-1. Is it hard? Diving catch at third base. Throw to first. And Dickinson, yes, he held on to the bag. What a play all the way around. Manzo the dive at third, and Dickinson, the big man, held on to the bag. He used every part of his body to corral that one-hop throw. How about that double play?
A scorching line drive, and you gotta love that tumble from Dickinson. You couldn't blame him if he was taken off, but you expect nothing but the best from Spencer, and he held on.
So a 4-pitch walk. Haskell hits a bullet, but ends up being a line drive double play. That brings up Waston now. 2 outs and nobody on. He walked and scored in the 4th. Takes a breaking ball up high. Down low, 2-0 the count.
Rothfarb trying to get the breaking stuff going.
You know, Marshall, we had to say goodbye to our beloved friend Hammer. He left us after the game. Was it Friday or Saturday? Some friend of mine, I can't remember which day it was. But he's still texting in the group chat. Still trying to contribute from a distance.
We appreciate you, Hammer. It was an absolute privilege working with you.
Was that bad? I can't remember whether it was Friday or Saturday, whether it was his last game.
I don't blame you. There's so much that happens, and it all goes by pretty fast.
Maybe George will have to ask in between innings. 3-1 the count. Looks like Waston was taking all the way. You know, if Hammer's tuning into this, I'm going to get an angry text message from him right away. 3-1, that's high. So second walk issued by Rothfarb this inning, now a 2-out base runner.
Come on, Yuli, let's go now.
That brings up Ulysses Duran, ground out to short in the second, reached on an error by Berkey.
Come on, Yuli.
He also came around to score. 3 unearned runs put up by the Field Rats. Still no hits to their credit. We have 2 outs here in the 5th. Team that's hitting .316 overall this season coming into today.
No hits, just getting getting runs just about every other way they can.
That's
But
delivered high.
Rothbard got some good zip on that. Going to stand in the upper 80s with that fastball.
Pretty good lead from Duran at first and a check on him. He's only attempted one steal and he made it safely. And he's played 10 games. He's had his share of at-bats. And times getting on base. Now would be a good time to take off. Ball's off the hands out to Angel Jr. This time he's up with it and he deposits that third out over the first. So Miles Rothbard comes out of the bullpen, works around a couple walks. He was helped by a web gem from Manzo and Dickinson. So he works a mostly clean top of the 5th inning. To the bottom of the 5th we go. And we'll see the top of the order. Alvarez, Hernandez, and Berkey when we return. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're set for the bottom of the 5th inning. Megan Schmeiser joined by Marshall Garvey. Power still trail 3-2. Marshall, Power got to get the bats moving. It's been mostly quiet since the first.
Yeah, they have just been shut down rather inexplicably.
Say Alvarez, wow, that was called a strike. I think Alvarez is looking down and like, really? That was called a strike? That looked... Tittle didn't even try to frame that pitch. That's how far outside it was.
Oh, it's an odd call.
So 0-1 nonetheless. It's been mostly big strikes. So that ball's laced in the right field. Coming on is Haskell, and he's able to make the catch. Turned into an easier play than I anticipated.
Again, most of these at-bats, just over in the blink of an eye. Hapler has really settled into a groove.
Seems like a lot of balls hit somewhat hard, but right at him too. I wonder what kind of analytics crew these guys have.
The left fielder, number 1, Josh Hernandez.
That brings up Josh Hernandez. RBI single back in the first. So he's 1 for 2. Could use some kind of base run or something to get momentum back to the Power. And Garrett Maloney is the man warming up in the Power bullpen. So possibly another big arm we'll see out of there at some point. 1. Hernandez looks like he was taking all the way inside 1-1. That one a curveball. Ball to the first base line. It'll be fair. Gloved by Duran, and it'll take it himself. So 3 unassisted and a quick 2 outs once again.
Soft liners, grounders, and pop-outs.
So that brings up Berkey.
Berkey nearly cleared the fence to start this game. Maybe he's just what the Power need to get it going now.
Berkey!
Ball probably not going to travel quite as much with the breeze going now.
Feels like a slightly more humid night. Berkey taking his time getting home play. You know, it makes sense. You want to hear your walk-up song if you're a hitter. Berkey shows bunt. He pulls back and takes strike one. Not a bad idea. Wason was playing way back at third. Berkey had a double to the wall in the first and a dribble up the third base line for a hit back in the third. So he's 2 for 2. Both Richardson and Berkey with 2 hits tonight for the Power. 8 hits scattered, but only a couple runs. That ball's hit hard through the middle for a base hit. Man, Berkey's feeling it tonight. He's 3 for 3. Power now have a 2-out base runner for the second straight inning.
One thing you want to keep your eye on
The third baseman, number 31,
with Mazzetti done as a pitcher, got to see if he's going to pop up in the lineup sometime tonight.
Yeah, I wonder. The way it's going right now, they could use his bat somewhere.
He really could.
Especially without Blythe, who ended up hurting himself about a week ago. I think it was an ankle. He's been out for a little bit. First pitch swing is Manzo out to shortstop. Short way to second, and that retires the side. So a quiet frame. Berkey got his third hit of the night, but Power leave a man on base, no runs, and we're through 5. The Field Rats lead 3-2 when we return. To the top of the 6th inning we go. Parker, Santa Maria, DeFrancisco, the scheduled hitters. And second man out of the bullpen quickly for the Power. Just like that, Garrett Maloney on in relief for Miles Rothbard. Maloney, one of the mainstays for the Power, 14 2/3 innings, 3.07 ERA, 19 strikeouts, and only 5 walks. Rothbard was able to work around, issuing a couple walks back in the 5th inning. Didn't allow any runs. Power trailed 3-2. First pitch, a foul from TK Parker. Was hit by a pitch in the second, walked and scored in the 4th. Still no hits for the Field Rats. Such a weird game.
This is just the weirdest game.
Power have 9 hits, but really since the 1st inning, not much as far as a rally is concerned. 0-2 the count. Way late on that swing was Parker.
Maloney, favorite amongst our staff for his dedication. He commutes all the way from Southern Nevada each week to come play.
And I can tell you, it's not a short drive. I made that drive, Marshall.
I was making that drive with my family on the way here as well. It is not.
0-2, that's it foul. Did a better swing there. Wait, when did you make a drive from Vegas?
Oh, no, wait. No, I'm misremembering. I know what a long drive that is.
So you've done it before.
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna leave the fans hanging, Mar, so I gotta pry it out of you. 0-2 the count now to Parker. Fastball chopped. Good play from Maloney. Has time. Whoa! Wild throw. It's off the glove of Dickinson. Man, Maloney made a nice play initially to backhand it. He had time. That ball just sailed on him. Honestly, good play from Dickinson to corral it to not allow any more damage.
That's
So E1 on the play.
just another tough luck error. And again, that which has haunted so many pitchers both for the Power League and the PSCL.
So 5th error of the night for the Power. I mean, we've seen at times in the Power up big a handful of bad innings. This is just strange.
It's been the sloppiest defense.
Marshall, we're at nobody out in the 6th inning. There's a lot of game left. And the game's still in balance. Field Rats only lead 3-2. It's far from over.
It's far from over.
Yeah, the Field Rats have no hits, but it feels like they're dominating. Such a weird dynamic.
So strange. And you just expect the Power to explode any inning.
Nobody up. Whoa. And Parr got himself in the rundown. He's going to be tagged out. He was trying to time up Maloney, be aggressive on the bases. Heads up job by the infield for the Power. Maloney stepped off. He did not balk. And he made the throw over to second base. So just like that, the leadoff base run and error gets erased. So I guess that'll go down as a, I don't know, is that caught stealing?
That's
Or is
got
that just a pickoff? I think it is a caught stealing.
I'd wager that's got to be a caught stealing.
You know, Eli is up to that one. He's the man in charge tonight down there. So 1 out. And now 2-1 the count. AJ Santamaria eats on an error by Angel Jr. in the 4th and bounced out to the mound in the 2nd. This got to feel good for the Power. Just erase a leadoff base runner like that.
It's got to feel huge. Especially with the way those errors kept snowballing in the prior inning.
So now it's 2-1 the count. Excuse me.
Maloney trying to get him bite with the breaking stuff.
On the inside corner, 2-2.
Figure it out.
For the first time tonight, we're seeing action in the Field Rats bullpen. It's a lefty out there. Thing below, that's Anthony Sharamonte. I got the name right too. I was talking to his mom just a little bit earlier, and she was very particular about. There were several options to use for the last name, but I think I got the family's favorite version of that last name correctly. Sharamonte. I've had a couple Sharamontes or Charamontes back in Jersey.
I have to admit, I've never encountered that surname myself.
We got more Italians in New Jersey.
That is true.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Santamaria goes after a high fastball. Maloney gets another strikeout.
Number 2, Joey.
Now 2 outs with nobody on base. It brings up Joey DeFrancisco. Bounced out to shortstop in the 3rd. Reached on an error by the shortstop Berkey in the 4th. So he's 0 for 2. Man, this crowd is quiet, Marshall. Jeez. I feel like the entire crowd can hear us.
They probably can.
First pitch fisted back, 0-1.
So used to so much electric energy night after night.
Yeah, I mean, of course we're getting music and like sound effects. We got Rocky down there by the camera well down the left field line.
Of all the Power games, this one has had the most atypical atmosphere.
And it's a pretty good crowd, especially for a Tuesday. Good crowd. $2 draft beer night. Inside 1-1. Outfield playing straight. I mean, look, part of this, it's not the most unexpected atmosphere right now, given how the game's gone. Field Rats have no hits. The Power have made 5 errors. And the Power haven't done a whole lot offensively since the 1st. The 1-1, whoa! Breaking ball, that hit him. So DeFrancisco on now via hit by pitch. And it gives the Field Rats a 2-out base runner. Brings up Daniel Esqueda. Struck out in the 3rd, walked in the 4th.
That's just the 2nd hit batter of the year for Maloney. Doesn't give a lot of free passes.
DeFrancisco, keep an eye on him. He's stolen 5 bases this year in 11 games. He has not been caught. Swan throws pretty well. Honestly, he's probably the best throwing catcher that I've seen throughout the entire PSCL. Relatively short lead at first, though, from DeFrancisco. It's big swing and a miss, 1-1. Just feels like Maloney's fastball gets on you in a hurry, even though right now it's about 86, 87 for the most part.
He commands it so well.
Saramonte continues to throw in the Field Rats bullpen. The 1-1, that's inside, off the glove of Swan, it goes to the backstop. DeFrancisco advances to second base. We'll see about the scoring on that in a moment. Wonder what Eli has to say. So now 2-1 the count. Field Rats put up a hit. They could get their 4th run. Check swing. No swing. And Esqueda was on his way to first, but it was ball 3. Our scoreboard had it right. And I saw the home plate umpire must have said something, and he looked out at me and he went, "Come on back here, young man." He motioned with the hand, too. You know he means business when you see the hand, like signaling someone to come back. So now 3-1 the count. And that was on the inside corner, strike 2. Now, granted, I will say, I don't know, what's usually worse, forgetting the count or having already tossed your bat, thinking it's ball 4, and the umpire calls a strike? I think it's worse, Marshall. What do you think about that? The 3-2, that one's a foul. Nice grab by the first base coach.
There's definitely something a little more embarrassing about getting called back when you think you've had a walk.
Now, Marshall, I think some Power fans want there to be an out recorded thanks to that play at first. That's not how baseball works, though.
If only.
I mean, Marshall, what's more humiliating for a hitter or disrespectful to an umpire? Forgetting the count, or as he takes ball 4, or starting to walk to first after taking a strike?
I think walking to first after taking a strike. It just kind of shows a little overconfidence.
So that brings up the 9th man in the order, Zachary Tittle. He struck out twice. He's 0 for 2. He has an opportunity, though. Field Rats lead 3-2, a man in scoring position. DeFrancisco runs relatively well. He's got a good lead out there. Power outfielders playing medium deep. Best thrower is probably Alvarez out in center field. So Maloney with a bit of a jam now. 2 outs, men on first and second. Curveball in the dirt. Good block from Swan that time.
Really gotta commend the Field Rats for just how patient they've been at the plate all evening against all power pitchers.
You can tell it's summer around here. Pretty good amount of kids and young families out here. Kids getting for free on Saturdays. Today is not Saturday. Obviously the kids aren't going to be drinking any beer. So 1-1 the count now on that foul ball. Nobody up in either bullpen. Probably see Maloney for multiple innings if he doesn't even finish off the game. Three to 2 Field Rats in the top of the 6th inning. 2 outs, men on first and second. That ball's off the hands. One hop. Angel Jr. picks it up and he steps around the second base bag. And now retires the side. Garrett Maloney able to work out of a jam. A hit batter and a walk. We go to the bottom of the 6th, though. Power still trail by just 1 run. See if they can work on that when we return. All right, we're set for the bottom of the 6th inning. Dickinson, Angel Jr., and Hall, the scheduled hitters for the Power. Sean Hepler back out for his 6th inning of work. And Marshall, between half innings, ladies and gentlemen, we have some pretty customary contests and other events. The race around the bases on, I guess, what do you call those things? Scooters, tricycles. It's a mainstay. And it was an all-intern race, so Eli was pushing Aiden by the analytics crew, and then it was also battle with the marketing crew on the other end. Seth was pushing Anna, and my goodness, Eli, do not let him drive.
Eli, we are not going to let you live that down ever.
No, Marshall, you said it. I mean, look, Aiden is not a heavy gentleman by any means. He's on the taller side, but he's skinny. And they just could not steer. They ended up on the grass. Eli ended up almost on the pitcher's mound. He was on the pitcher's mound. Dickinson now behind 0-2 in the count. I mean, Seth kind of did cut third base a lot, but it wouldn't have even mattered. He just won by so much. And I guess you could technically argue that you had cheating and off-roading going on here, so nobody wins, but you can't take that away from Seth, because the outcome was pretty clear. Seth and Anna, that is.
Yes, Eli, we expect better out of our analytics crew. We expect you
Yeah,
we expect you to run those bases with precision, just as much as you.
Yeah. They might have to stick to the computer work, at least compared to the running around the bases. We need computer guys. They give us all sorts of information. And try to explain to me why bunting and stealing bases are bad ideas. To that I say hogwash. 1-2 to Dickinson on the ground. Shortstop Parker up with it. Oh, he bobbles it for a moment. Dickinson hustling, and he's safe at first.
Oh.
Wow. Dickinson, man, he was moving up the line. That might be the fastest I've seen him run all season. Doing pretty good there for the big man.
On such a routine grounder, too. I didn't think he had a chance.
Yeah, it didn't take any kind of crazy hops, so second error of the game for the Field Rats. It goes on the shortstop, TK Parker, and a leadoff base run for the Power.
And it looks like that's going to be ruled a wild pitch and an error on the shortstop.
Come again, Marshall?
Looks like that's going to be ruled both a wild pitch and an error on the shortstop.
Marshall, the shortstop can't throw a wild pitch.
Wait. Oh, I'm reading a previous text. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we had a wild pitch in a previous inning. It's okay, it happens to everybody. I had to keep you honest there, Marsh. You're not a real broadcaster unless you can laugh at yourself. 0-1 the count to Angel Jr. Thought for a second I wondered if they'd bunt, not happening. That's on the ground, foul down the third base line. Right past Casey Dill. Angel Jr. he's flown out to left, and he's flown out to center so far. Today he's 0 for 2. Granted, though, I am in no condition of trying to race around the bases, Marshall. I got a blister on my toe. Trying to nurse that one up.
Oh, get well soon.
Well, I'll have to treat it tonight. I'm a runner. I'm no stranger to blisters on my feet. I did a run this morning. Dealing with that blister, I might have to, after I drain it in the future, I might have to go with some athletic tape. I'll have to go talk to Trevor or Haley about that, or Georgia, or one of them. And of course a bandage, maybe some kind of antibiotics, or I don't know, some solution put on there. Make sure everything stays clean. The 0-2, that's way inside, almost hit Angel Jr. I take my share of rest days here and there, Marshall, but I have not missed a run since college because of a blister on my foot. Now, I've missed several runs because of other reasons, some injuries, but never blisters. I want to keep that going. Curveball on the ground. That's going to be a fair ball over the third base bag. We're going to go 2nd for 1. Good play there. Dickinson did all he could. Just doesn't run all that well. So 5-3 on that putout. Nice play by Wason.
That was great.
Angel Jr. reaches on the fielder's choice. That ball might have gone right over the third base bag.
All right, fielder, number 14, Levi Hall.
That brings up Levi Hall. Infield hit his last time up for his first hit with the Power, also lined out back to the box in the second. And, you know, Anna's got all sorts of momentum after winning the race around the bases. Now she's handing out 50-50 tickets. Part of her duties as a marketing lady. So 1 out now here in the 6th. Angel Jr. started and stopped. Levi Hall takes ball 1. The field rats look to turn 2. Now, Marks, what do I think you'd do in the race around the base if you had to push?
Honestly, I think I do pretty well. I'm a runner. I run every day.
Oh, good deal. Marshall never told me this. Why are you keeping all these secrets? First it's the Vintage League, now it's running. What gives, man?
I'm a pretty guarded guy, what can I say?
Oh, man, the season's over on Saturday, and we're going to let those secrets go to the grave. My God. The fans like interesting stuff, Marshall. 1-1 the count now to Hall. I wonder if we'll see Angel Jr. take off. He's got a decent lead. Big swing and miss from Hall. Back foot breaking ball had him off balance. Angel Jr. is only stolen 3 bases this year. Now that number surprises me. The amount of times he's been on base, especially in the top of the lineup. He has decent speed too. This time a much bigger lead. I don't think the Power have attempted a stolen base yet today.
They haven't. I have not.
The 1-2 on the ground hits softly under the glove of Duran and off the glove of DeFrancisco. Man, ball kicked all over the place that time. They weren't gonna have a play on second to get Angel Jr. It was just hit way too slowly, and it's got to be an error all the way. Second error of the inning. So now I wonder if they're gonna put that on. Is it gonna go on Duran or DeFrancisco?
Hitter number 8, Tyler.
Either way, the third error of the game, it'll go on somebody.
It seems like it flashed on the scoreboard E4.
All right, works for me. So E4 for those keeping score back home. Puts Minham first and second with 1 out, and Tyler Richardson's the batter. Right now, tonight, he's a man you one up. He's 2 for 2.
It's probably the messiest power game I've seen, period.
Let's
What,
see.
8 combined errors?
Yep, you said it.
I cannot think of a higher cumulative error total.
I think this song right now, courtesy of Anne Marie, I think that's a fitting song. It's a good meme-worthy song.
It is.
And so the meeting on the mound from Scott Hoffman, the Field Rats manager, is concluded. They're going to stick with their man, Sean Hepler. He's been pretty good overall tonight. Field Rats still lead 3-2. The 8th man in the lineup, Richardson, looking to change that. He's having a really good game. Although he could be a prime double play candidate. It's a lot of balls hard and low towards the middle of the field. Field Rats would like a double play. Duran playing way off the line at first. That ball's popped straight up. Behind home plate. Tittle. It's off his glove as he's on the warning track. Decent amount of room behind home plate. I assume that'll go down as an error. Could be the 4th of the night for the Field Rats, and a break for Richardson in the Power, new life.
They are just getting all the breaks this inning. This really feels like the moment to capitalize.
No signal yet from Eli, so you have to hold off on making that an error. It does go down as an E2. It's the 9th combined error from both teams. And we're in the bottom of the 6th inning with 1 out. The 0-1. Swing and a miss 0-2. Good fastball in the lower half. Only 83 that time.
That's generally where it's been sitting all game. Low to mid 80s. That one clocking in around 77.
It's now 0-2 the count to Richardson. Breaking ball, might have broken his bat on the ground to third. What? Wasting up with it. Goes to second for 1, and out is the call over at first. Richardson not fan of the call, but either way, it's a 5-4-3 around the horn double play to retire the side. So the Power threatened, but not able to take advantage of 3 errors in the inning from the Field Rats. We go to the top of the 7th inning. Power still trail 3-2.